On this episode, we're going to show you how to get a free 2JZ. So, GS300, you're going to get the motor out of that. So, I bought this GS300 for $350, running and driving, but rusty. I bought another one before for $500 running and driving. It was actually in better shape. I actually just sold that one instead of pulling the motor. But they're out there, sub-$1,000, pretty often. So, I bought the car. I sold just the doors and the mirrors off it for about $200. And that gives me about $150 left in it, obviously. So then we got the stock cats, which tend to be worth about $400 to $500, sometimes even $600, depending on like prices of cats go up and down kind of a lot. That should pretty much get you a free 2J. There's other things you can do, you know, sell the hood, sell this or that, hold on to some parts. They're worth money. You just got to find the right buyer, you know. You can actually make money by pulling the motor. So find yourself a good running car, pull the motor, there you go. A couple things to note about the GS300 versus the IS300 is this engine is actually the VVTi engine, and it does not have the GTE rods. So the IS300 and the SC300, which you can find those relatively cheap too, but not as cheap as these, can take more power because they have the stronger rods, but they're kind of old school technology. They have a distributor, you know, so it's a bit different. This is a more modern engine, more modern style. Similar to the GTE VVTi engine, just not as strong. So 400, 450 horsepower max stock, but you can put the GTE rods in it or go aftermarket. I personally only want like around 300, 350 for my RX-7 to start. So this is a perfect stock engine to drop in, turbocharge it, and go have some fun. Free 2J, check the video now. So ignore the first part of this video as far as quality goes. I'm waiting on my cameras all to show up. But basically what we're doing is we're taking the 2J out of the GS300. It's going to be going into the RX-7 project, turbo, all that. Sorry this video quality is shitty right now, but camera's coming. So since the last time you guys have seen this, I pulled apart the front end here, started getting off some of the accessories, getting things kind of out of the way, got the intake off, got most of the wiring ready to go and off, the power steering line's off, obviously the AC system's all out, radiator, all that. I'm going to try to use the factory harness and wire in my aftermarket fans on my radiator that's going in the RX-7 for this harness, so it would be kind of cool if it would kick on and kick off when the ECU is telling it to. Basically the next big step is I need to get the exhaust apart. So I'm going to be just getting rid of the cats because they're worth pretty good money. Cutting it off before the cats and getting it out. It can probably come out with the engine. I'm going to pull the engine and transmission together because it's easier. And I'm just scrapping this afterwards anyway. This thing is, you know, in very, very bad condition overall. But the engine was healthy. So motor and trans out. All the rest of the random metal I have laying around in it. And scrap the car. And that's that. So the next step is to get everything off and try to get this engine out so it can be ready to start going together for the RX-7. Alright, so as you saw, hooked the car up some more, got the ass end up. However, it is so rusty that it actually, like, the frame is too bad to even jack up anywhere in the back where it'll stay up. So I guess I'll get some blocks of wood and put them on the rear tires as I'm not pulling the rear tires. Need to get the ass end up more. I need to unbolt the Guipo style fit, you know, for the drive shaft. Get that out. I'm going to cut the exhaust after the cats and just bring the header and cats out with it for the time being because it's going to be easier. I got to pull this all apart anyways. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to actually cut the fuel lines further down underneath the car as well. I'm not sure if I'm even going to use the factory fuel system, but again, this car's getting scrapped, so the more stuff I can just take off and pull with it, the better. So at this point, I need to get my Sawzall out, get that cut up, get the car jacked up, and then work on getting the transmission unbolted and ready to come out from the actual car. And then it's just 2 bolts with motor mounts. Then we should be able to pull it. So not too bad, but you know, it's not like working on a lift, that's for sure. well, it's just about out, but apparently the drive shaft is still connected to the transmission, even though it's all unbolted. But it must have, I don't know, broken half, unless it's just pulling it out of the whole rear end. But I assume it's bolted in. I never worked on many of these. Something's going on here. Oh yeah. Looks like we're about to break down the drive shaft with us. Whatever. She's a big girl. Let's just keep pulling. And try to knock the drive shaft off. Make life a little easier. I may go for a ride as soon as I do that, but entertaining for you guys. Alright. I know my shop is such a mess here at my house. Soon, I will be redoing it. Once I get this parts car out of here, focusing on this bag. I may open up these two bags. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But I think it might be easier to move if I lower it a little bit. Try to walk with it. I don't know. Come on. These transmissions are just bulky as hell. Oh. Alright, let's not tip that over. Alright, force it is. Oh, alright. She's out. Oh, this fucking mammoth of an engine transmission. She is out. How about that? All right. So I don't know when I'll be posting this, but it's Christmas Eve, and my wonderful fiance is somehow she puts up with me. You know, you normally be doing Christmas stuff, baking cookies, all that kind of fun stuff. Nope. I'm pulling 2Js. Because, you know, it's what I live for, man. Alright, I will show you guys the RX-7 here in a few. Show you what it looks like in its current state, what the plan is. I do have a W58 transmission as well I picked up, so we're going to be doing this motor, W58 NAT setup. I haven't decided what I'm going to do ECU-wise yet, but yeah, I'm tired.